evening, everybody, and welcome back to Deutschland. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and the channel. I want to thank you all for coming and spending the evening with me. If you're live, if you are watching a replay, I want to thank you for coming by and watching the replay. I've got a 3080 EVGA card. I'm not really looking at the 4000 series at all. I don't really have any direct intentions to do any upgrades anytime soon. It is January. We're going to be talking about some things. Talking about the presentations that Giants just dropped earlier today, all of them from FarmCon, as well as an after movie and some images. One lucky person from FarmCon gets to be the recipient of the very first key to be released for FS25 on launch day. So that was a cool prize. Still no word who won the creator Bale stacking contest. I don't think that happened, sadly. What's up, Chad? Oh, that is going to be stunning. Yeah, the difference are going to be absolutely stunning for you. Waylon, what's up? Good evening. How are you doing? Well, Simon, we have 4 months. Actually, we have 122 days and 22 hours until the release. So plenty of time yet for lots of more information to be disclosed. What we can surmise is that we will continue to have the seasonal growth, at least at a minimum as we know it today with FS22. We did see in the collector's edition we have 3 posters. Those are the 3 posters of the 3 base maps that are included with the collector's edition and with the base game. And in those posters, we got to see the crop counter, the growth schedule. So there will be a growth schedule. So we do have that much information at least. Well, we get something like hay drying, grass drying. Will we get grass rot or straw rot if it's left out in the field? Those would be 2 nice upgrades that I would like to see, is to have grass naturally turn into hay out in the field and have grass or hay or straw that is not collected in a timely manner just fade away to non-existence. As opposed to just always being on the ground. By being able to watch the videos, we did learn a bit more, or I learned a bit more understanding with respect to the difference between the 1 meter resolution and 2 meter resolution on terrain, as well as some of the other aspects that I was somewhat speculating and guessing on when all I had access to were still images. So it was nice to see that some of those speculations were correct. Others were slightly off, but not too terrible bad. Nothing that makes me embarrassed that those videos are out there. Avery, well, yeah. Now, from FS22, we didn't see the French map for quite a long time. I think what Giants knows is that outside of Europe, North America is probably their second biggest audience, and well, we're rather vocal. So it's a way of shutting up a big chunk of their viewer base by showing that map off early. Yeah, Jonah, right? A car or a truck has the potential to somewhat appreciate in value, depending on what it is. Whereas a PC has zero chance to ever appreciate in value. Well, at least until it gets like ultra old. Ultra old and ultra rare, which... yeah, you don't want to hang on and wait for that. Tonight we've got some crop to sell. We're going to do some organic fertilized spreading with slurry and manure. I've got to go pick up another load of sulfuric acid for our farm production pack liquid fertilizer plant that we placed down at the main farm over at Farm B. I want to talk a little bit about spinach being a new crop in FS22 or FS25 and what that means possibly with respect to other equipment coming in the game. Obviously we're going to have a spinach harvester, but what brands make spinach harvesters? What brands do we already have that make spinach harvesters? What conglomerates that we already have make spinach harvesters? And what could that mean? Popeyes makes pretty good chicken, but they don't make spinach harvesters. There we got our sulfuric acid and our Unimog. Reconfigured this for the flatbed. Who went to 7-Eleven today for free Slurpees? If you're in the U.S., you know what that means. If you're not in the U.S., 7-Eleven is a convenience store. Convenience store or gas station. And they offer a frozen drink, a frozen beverage. That often comes in various flavors, including Coke, Mountain Dew, Cherry, Pina Colada, and a few others. And today, being July 11th, aka 7-Eleven, it's National Free Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven. Go in, get your free small Slurpee, and off you go. I took the two kids over and we got Slurpees. Took one back, brought it to the wife. I was traveling once to Indianapolis, and they don't have 7-Elevens out there. I don't think they have 612s, which I thought was hilarious because it's the same thing. If you don't just listen to it. There we go. Get this thing back working. Okay. Park this here. And let's jump in our Oxbo, right? We have Oxbo in game. They were previously Logger, or Oxbo and Fogger, basically the same thing. And we had the Oxbo pack in was it year 2 DLC, year 2 season pass. I thought we'd use the Oxbo pack here tonight. Put a little slurry on our fields. Put a little manure on our fields. And maybe talk about the fact that Oxbo actually makes a spinach harvester. It is a special purpose harvester. The purpose of harvesting a nice leafy vegetable. Oh, this is terrible. I'm destroying my boom arm. So, some news about the Collector's Edition. Those of you in Canada, Temper mentioned to me last night that the Canadian Amazon.ca, now has the Collector's Edition listed on their store. It was showing the wrong pack box, but it does have the Collector's Edition information. So you can now pre-order the Collector's Edition if you are in Canada and don't want to go through the whole Amazon US process. I have a link to that in the Discord, in the FS25 channels. Oxbo does make a lot of cool stuff. In fact, while we're filling this thing up, I'm going to go show you that. I don't know, can we fit through here? We might get stuck. Oh, yeah. Please. I think I emptied this. Yeah, I emptied that. All right, let's look at what Oxbo has to offer. The Oxbo spinach harvester, the MKB4TR. This thing is a beast. Cool little header here. We got some sort of blower, or vacuum to get the, I guess, leaves standing upright. Then we've got a header cutter bar here, a reel to bring it in, and then it's going to put it all back up here. So another giant piece of machinery. Yes. But really, really cool looking. Yeah, let's see. We're in North America. So obviously they do slurry, they do manure, they've got fertilized sprayers, self-propelled fertilized sprayers. Maybe we'll see those come into the game. Berry harvesting. Berry harvesting. We have 2 new crops that we don't know anything about yet, because we saw 25 crops on the crop counter in the collector's edition for Farming Simulator 25. We know of 23. Assuming that we get all the crops we have in FS22, FS Double Deuce, we have 22. Sorry, we have 20 if we use all of these crops, minus the ones that are custom to this map, right? So red beet, carrot, parsnip, oilseed radish, grass, poplar, olives, grapes, sorghum, cotton, sugarcane, sugar beet, potatoes, soybeans, sunflowers, corn, oat, canola, barley, wheat. That's 20. And then if we add to that white rice, short grain rice, long grain rice, and spinach, that's 23. We could have blueberries, we could have raspberries. Cranberries would be cool because that extends the flooding of the field, because cranberries are often harvested in a flooded environment. Coffee, we've seen mod maps with coffee, we've seen implements with coffee. Could we see coffee? Now that would probably hold better with a South American map as opposed to maybe a North American map or European map. But I don't know. Do they grow coffee in Asia? Maybe. I don't know. I have to look it up. We've got some Oxbo forage stuff already. What the heck is this? Nut harvesting. We have just crazy, insane. The shaker. Ah, the tree shaker. Yeah, okay. At any rate. All right, we got our root crops. Seed corn. Some way crazy looking corn harvesters for seed corn or whole cob corn, basically. And then we have our almonds, olives, tomatoes. Could we have tomatoes? That would be interesting. And we have our spinach harvester, green beans, peas. I tell you what, whole corn would be cool. There, leafy greens, green beans. All right, well, what else? What else? You know what else is in game? We have Grimmy in game, right? Grimmy's an in-game brand. Well, you know what I learned? I learned that, well, there's this little company called Spudnik. And Spudnik is basically part of the Grimmy umbrella of manufacturers. And they happen to make this thing that harvests spinach. And I think there would be lots of folks happy and excited if this brand came to the game. because they also have a ton of, well, I mean, obviously with their name, they have a ton of potato harvesting. Right? Could we get Sputnik in because of the fact that they are associated with Grimmy, which we already have? Maybe a Sputnik DLC? So then I got to thinking, well, maybe Izeki has spinach harvesters? No, they don't. So they have 2 rice harvesters, they have tractors, they have mowers. That's something we don't have in the game, little mowers. They have walk-behind tillers. And, of course, they have the rice planters. What? This thing looks like a jet ski. That thing is cool. Well, their images don't scale very well. But at any rate, all right, so that's it. Enough of that speculation. It's been a brand that has been asked for. It's come up before. So coffee is a possibility if coffee is an Asian crop. It will be really interesting to see what comes of that. We're going to have over 400 pieces of equipment in the base game from over 150 brands, I think, is what was mentioned at FarmCon and or during the pre-FarmCon premiere video. I was looking for small spinach harvesters, and well, I found some walk-behind things, but I don't see Giants implementing walk-behind spinach harvesters. But we do have the walk-behind mower of death, so you never know. All right, we got that field covered. And according to our info, right, we have maybe a little bit more nitrogen than we need, but it's coming up as perfect, so that's good. Let's go top this off and we'll get on with another field. Good morning, David. How are you doing tonight? Scott, Alfalfa. Oh, whoa, we don't have a collision on that thing. Alfalfa is a mod map, but yeah, it's not in a base game. We're just ignoring this little field down here below the cows because it's too small to do anything with. Steve, it's Deutschland. It's the name of this title. Came out probably a month ago or so. We had 3 maps drop yesterday. One was an update that gave us console support. Then we had 2 new maps drop. Or one was kind of an extension of a map, but we'll call it new. It is a PC-only map. It is by the same map author as the map Italia map. And I think he's done another one. We do, of course, have a map tour published. It has 3 farms built out, chicken area built out. On top of that, some custom productions. All custom buildings everywhere. Really looking forward to see the new vehicles in the game. We learned today with the presentations that Giants has been going around for over a year now and has been using a paint scanner to scan brands and scan various pieces of machinery of those brands, and have amassed, I think, a catalog of 300 distinct colors that are used by several brands that are going to be in the game. Would you move? Sometime today, please. Is your name Karen? So we'll have authentic colors, legit brand colors. I thought we had legit brand colors in 22 and 19 when they changed to the materials system, but apparently still no, that isn't the case. Apparently those colors were still off to some degree. Oh, Farmer G, I thought I would stream tonight just because I was wanting to talk about what you all thought about the presentations that you all got to see today. Right? I wanted to hear what you all thought of the presentations that were given at FarmCon since you got to see them. And I really like the idea of, let's stop this here. I like the idea of, so these displays that are in cab here in FS25, they're going to be provided by Giants. They're going to be in-game assets. So anyone that makes an Oxbo piece of machinery can simply call the Oxbo displays, we call it dashboards, from within the game assets. So you're going to get authentic Oxbo displays conceivably across all the Oxbo machinery, not only that are included in the base game, but also machinery that other people built. So all of the Case tractors, John Deere tractors can have authentic displays, regardless if they are base game or mods. The tire system I learned today, because I'm not a modder, I don't know these things. The tire system today is crazy complex because they have, well, they've got so many different brands, right? We've got 5 different brands of tire in game. just trying to think about from memory. And then we've got, you know, narrow tires, wide tires, turf tires, lots of different types of tires for each brand. And right now a vehicle in its XML has to define every possible iteration of tire for the vehicle. And they were saying that that often could take up 200 to 300 lines of code per vehicle. Well, the new way of doing it is takes up maybe 5 or 6 lines of code, and you basically define the tire size that the vehicle uses. So clearly this thing is wide, right? So you define the tire size that the vehicle uses, and then the game engine itself says, oh, well, let me go and build out all the options based on the tire size. So if this vehicle has there we go, 1050 R32s. Yeah, 1050 R32s. Well, how many brands that are in the game offer 1050 R50 32s, and then build out, you know, your tire choices based on that? So that looked really cool. It's going to make modding vehicles easier to bring in and introduce and have proper tire configurations. So it's not always about new features for players. It's often also about adding quality of life improvements for things like modders. And the game developers themselves, right? Instead of having to literally build out the displays in cab for 1, 2, 3 different Oxbos, just build out 3 displays as opposed to having to build out 9 displays. And we're going to get clear coat, right? We're going to get reflections. And it'll be very obvious. It'll be very obvious if a modder doesn't use clear coat, because the vehicle will look like this. And if they do use a clear coat, well, then it'll be shinier. It'll be more reflective. I totally am having issues driving this. I really enjoyed watching the map presentation, and as I put a little clip in a community post earlier today, we were talking Tuesday about a little rumor that's been flying around, and I posted a slide in the Discord earlier this week as well. And I've posted images, or I've shown images that I had gotten from Giants that really had no context. I had no idea what they meant. And I couldn't find reference to them anywhere online with respect to the FarmCon presentations. And watching the FarmCon presentations today, I can indeed say those were not in those presentations. Well, what it was is a slide that was talking about characters in game, basically lip sync and emotions, and, well, let me pull it up. Because of course I don't have Discord open. All right, so here. So this is clearly going to be part of Stefan's, the CTO's presentation on the improvements for Farming Simulator 25 to the Giants engine. That's very obvious based on this slide information. Various facial animations. So various was a category of his presentation on various other improvements to the game engine. Facial animation, lip sync with audio, emotions, secondary animations, eyes, eyelids, eyebrows, and cheeks, and etc., etc., etc. Well, let's go pull up this. Patience, peoples. Patience, peoples. Ah, look at that. Oh, you look at this, people. Oh, look at that. All right, so this is the these are the images that I got from Giants yesterday. Okay, images 9 to 59. This is the image. These are the images I got from Giants over the weekend. 9 to 59. But look at these. All right. Oh, look, his eye. Oh, are you? What? What did you just say? Oh, his eyes closed, his mouth moves. Right? Oh, I think that's a collectible, by the way. So the clip that the lead level designer, he was down where that where the little toy tractor and trailer was, and he was talking like this guy that makes these wooden things would send you off on missions to do things, and you'd be surprised at what he asked you to basically deliver to him. And I've completely missed my turn. That's okay. So he didn't really go into a lot of detail, but he was really giddy and wanted to mention something about it. So that kind of almost confirms that there will be some sort of NPC interaction. And it may not be global. It may just be this dude. We're going to call him Jacer. Jacer may send us off on missions to do things. Like, I need so much logs. I need so many shingles. I need so many planks. And if you deliver them, on time, or maybe you deliver them at all, he'll be happy and excited and he'll do things. So that'll be interesting. Well, I mean, we already have NPCs walking around. And at the heart, the game is really just a sandbox. So it's just another element level of interactivity, engagement, if you will. It might not be revolutionary in the gaming industry. It might not be revolutionary in some of the agricultural games like Farmer's Dynasty. But it's new for Farm Sim, and Farm Sim classically being a sandbox environment as opposed to a mission-driven or story-driven environment. It's different, it's new. It alludes to what could be done to make Farm Sim maybe an interactive story mode. This, quite frankly, a story mode could be more attractive to bringing new players in than a strict sandbox. I think about Transport Fever 2. So several years ago when Transport Fever 2 launched, I had early access to that, and I was really looking forward to playing that. I was really looking forward to putting significant time in on it. And I worked through the tutorial, the story-driven tutorial, if you will. I did videos basically on how to complete each story-driven tutorial and everything. And I was really, really enjoying my time with that game. And then the story-driven tutorial ended, and the only thing that was left was the sandbox. And I stopped playing the game because I could not, I just couldn't, I didn't know what to do. I was left indecisive. I didn't know what map to pick. I couldn't figure out what map I wanted to pick. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to start on the map. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't know enough about the game. I didn't understand the mechanics enough. I just walked through the tutorial, and I enjoyed the missions. I enjoyed alright, go do this and do that, and then do this and then do that, and I felt I was achieving things. But when suddenly that ended, I was like, I don't know what to do. And I remember playing Farm Sim for the first time, and I remember going through the very basic tutorial in game, right? Like, you can harvest a field, you can cultivate the ground, you can plant a field, you can put your crop in a silo. And then you're done. You're like, what do I do next? And the answer is literally whatever you want to do. But when you don't know what you want to do, right, it's indecision paralysis. And that's what I had with Transport Fever 2, and I can imagine that's what some people have with Farm Sim. And they just never can get into it because they just don't understand the concepts enough. That's why my how-to tutorials are rather popular to this day. I can't tell you how many views I have on that fieldwork video, but pretty much every month from the release of Farm Sim, that fieldwork video has been on my top 10 views list for the last 2.5 years. So these types of games, they suffer a lot with respect to tutorials and everything, so I could see a story mode helping out. Yeah, Chad, they put them all out. So you've got map preparation, you've got the engine enhancements, you have the gameplay video that goes over rice, that goes over consumables on your balers, it goes over the GPS system, and talks about that in much more detail on how it works and how you activate it, both in normal mode, like, you know, you want to do things mode, or full on I just want to hire a guy and go do something else mode. They released the modding and the scripting videos from the second day. But the map video is definitely worth watching, because he also makes another really great point that I think is very, very true. And it hits on something that I've never really been able to explain or iterate or express myself. And that is, he made a comment that people talk about the maps and realism. It says it's not about realism. It's about emotion. So a Giants map isn't intended to be ultra realistic. It's intended to elicit emotional response. Ideally not a angry response, but an emotional response of awe, of just wow, impressiveness, whatever. But an emotional response nonetheless. And I thought to myself, that's exactly what makes a great map. It's not a map that's so ultra realistic that everything is exactly how you're going to find it on a Google map, or the town is so accurate that you could just play the game for a week and then go to that town and you know where everything is. Some people want that ultra realism, but for me, a map's got to feel right. And I never understood what feel right means. But feel right is an emotional response. So the map has to elicit the emotion of, this feels right. This map that we're on had that type of response for me. I'm like, yeah, it's just, I need to play this map because I feel like it's just drawing me in. It's begging me to enjoy it, to use it, to experience it more. Whereas there's plenty of other maps that don't draw me in a nickel. I don't really care to spend more time on it than it takes for me to make a video on it. But then there are other maps that draw you in. David, yes, they are all in German, but you know, Google Translate does a fabulous job in doing that translation for you. I wish there were cheaper Oxbo machinery. Right? These Oxbo things, they're really great, but they are very expensive, and as such are not often super accessible to the player. Oh, I think we filled up. I think we used up all our slurry. Yeah, okay. But we're going to reconfigure this to do manure. What's up, Kozel Sniper? Is that right? Is that right? How are you doing? Alright, we need to go up here and get our loader. Oh, let's get out the... let's get out the joystick. Oh, it is. It is a little tight for the Oxbo, but, you know, it's a challenge we're up to. Oh, there are 3 Oxbos in game. I think one is base game, and one was introduced in a free update, and then 2 came with the Oxbo pack. This is the smaller of the 2 that came with the Oxbo pack. Because of the narrowness and the tightness of the roads, I thought we should just go with this one as opposed to the larger one. I haven't used it since we did our launch party of the Oxbo launch. And I thought I would use it tonight because we had ample slurry on hand and ample manure on hand. And we're not really worried about money on this game. Because we also have manure up at the other cow farm too. I mean, I think it's fine. I wish there was some machinery that was cheaper. We looked at the website earlier today. Oxbo has a spinach harvester. So we were looking at other things that Oxbo has. They do have lots of different types of machinery. So it'd be interesting to see what we get more of theirs in 25. But oftentimes I think the cost of the machinery that is included with the Oxbo pack precludes them from being able to be really used by lots of players. Alright, let's go spread some food. I think they got really great turning radiuses. They got decent working width. As far as the model is concerned, they look great. Yeah, just like big sugar beet harvesters, potato harvesters, as a manure and slurry spreading piece of machinery, right? They are very, very expensive. But if you can afford them, if you play with machinery of this size, and you can basically produce enough slurry and manure to make their use worthwhile, then I think they're nice. Well, the Oxbo pack consisted of 2 manure and slurry spreaders, a grape harvester, and a belt, a merger. It was part of the Year 2 season pass, so if you had the Year 2 season pass, then you would have had Oxbo there. So by putting our organic fertilizer down, we are going to then use less mineral fertilizer as a result. But their maneuverability being priced is beyond just about anything else. All right, so we've got that going on. Did we miss a whole section over here? No, that's a different soil type. All right. Let's go and refill. And we'll go see if we can't put some down on the chicken field. What? Depending on, yeah. Depending on how many cows you have, or how large the fields you are, or you have. Obviously, this is a little big for these roads. That's the second time we've driven right through that. I was going to say, you know what we need to do? We haven't done this yet. This video is brought to you by Paul Nadon Jr. and Squiggy486. Thank you for being farm barons. Uh-oh, it's about to snow. Go empty this pen. I mean, I have 30 cows in this pen, and I got 60 in the other pen up on top of the hill. And we've basically been accumulating manure since we started. We're now in our second winter. How can it not be performed here? Yeah, you could take both down to the BGA if you had that. It's also free fertilizer. This is from our pigs. Alright. Oops. So let's go in. We have 11,000 liters of manure here. Jump over it, cows. Jump over it. All right. Let's go get more. I don't know why we weren't getting any manure in that other one. Let's head over to the chickens. Because anything that we fertilize with manure or slurry will just require less liquid or solid. I mean, I look forward in FS25 just driving through the water and seeing how I can make the water ripple. Cool feature I like to see implemented at some point in time are, like, you know, actual rear cameras, reverse cameras. Right, we got this HUD here, or this display in cab, that's just showing us a static image. But that would show us an actual reverse image as we were driving, or like for a harvester, a camera showing into the grain bin. I think that would be really neat, and it's probably something they could implement with their new optimizations and things. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe they just haven't announced it. Lots of things to be announced in the next 122 days. Maybe that's why the New Holland Harvester in that gameplay video didn't have not super realistic, but hey, we're gonna run with it anyway. Maybe that's why that CR11 didn't have a working dashboards. Got 3 pallets of eggs over here too. Why do we have a line down the middle? Well, you weren't here, we already used up all our slurry. Oh, we got this one done. So that got us up to 50. Right, we still have quite a ways to go. Now we'll go grab the rest of the manure from the other farm, and I've got one more field to put it on, then we'll be done with this. Well, I said this is stuff I haven't used since it came out. I used it on the launch party. I used it going into release to show it off. It's something I usually don't do in my own gameplay. Buddy seat over there. So it had to be a little buddy. I don't think I needed to. I think technically I need to turn off that road. Because I think it would have took us over there. Oh well. It's okay, more opportunity to go through tight corners. I was gonna buy a motorcycle and drive it around, ride it around in Farm Sim 25. That'll be fun, I think. See how that driving mechanic works. If it's as janky as the bicycle and Hoff Bergman or not. Oh, weapon I would say I'm most excited about learning more about what's coming in FS25. Because there's more to come. But as far as what's been announced, just experiencing and getting on the map. Getting on Riverbend Springs and seeing things for myself. Walking around and looking at things. Seeing what big of an impact these newer textures make. The fog implementation. The shadows, the night sky. So of the things announced is just experiencing the map or the maps. Well, I think and I hope that it's not overdone. And I think to some extent the images and the video clips that we've seen to date have extenuated the fog. I was thinking about Sri Lanka actually earlier today with respect to how much of that map had river. Right? Was there a big river presence on that map? I think there was some water, but not a lot. So it'll be interesting to see basically what the East Asian map looks like with respect to water. Oh. Well, clearly we can't see what we're doing if we do that. But I feel like maybe Riverbend Springs was designed to extenuate and really show off this fog concept, and that the amount of fog you're going to see on the other maps is going to be probably less, because hopefully there's less bodies of water on those other maps comparatively. And I think about Elm Creek compared to Holt Betheroon, compared to Owengrot, with respect to water. And while all of the maps had water, they all had varying amounts of water. What's up, good old boy gaming? How are you doing? Like, what we don't know is like under what auspices does fog really appear, right? I mean, I don't think you're gonna get. I hope you're not gonna get fog every day. I hope every morning isn't a foggy morning. Then it'll probably feel a lot like, what was that, Sleepy Hollow, right? The Headless Horseman. Exactly, Farmer G. Alright. So we do have 15,000 liters of slurry down here. We'll hold on to that. So we're going to be able to take this road down and around Then we need to take that gravel road. And then we need to go further around to the other field. What's up, Scooter? Yeah, overall, I was really surprised that we got those videos within a week of FarmCon. So far, we've had 3 weeks since the game has been announced, and we've had news about Farm Sim 25 every week, right? So we had the game announcement, and then the following week, we had not only the pre-FarmCon premiere showing gameplay, we also had FarmCon. And then this week, we had the videos of FarmCon for those that didn't go or couldn't go. Are we going to get something every week between now and release? I think that would be awesome just to keep the hype rolling. Once a week a dev vlog about some new feature, some new enhancement, an announcement of a new brand, a new crop, a new production, something. We have 122 days. What's that divided by 7? That would be how many weeks? $16, 17 weeks. I would say probably Court Farm would be tight for Oxbo, yes. I think any UK Irish map, Scottish map would be too tight. And I think we established that in FS22 we had 13 weeks of fact sheets. So that could be your once a week hype. And that would be 4, 8, 12. So that would be 3 months of fact sheets. So something once a week could be very, very possible. I think I like the Oxbo Grape Harvester because it had a glass floor, and am I remembering right? Does it have a glass floor? And you straddle the grapes as they come in. No glass floor, but you definitely straddle it coming in. So it's that other one, the EXO, that has the glass floor. I wonder what Farmer G thinks about that possible of a UK, Irish, Scottish, map for the Year 1 expansion. What other farm animals could we see? I think we're going to get some more farm animals. There's only been one image I've seen of a FS25 animal up close, and it was a cow. I believe it was over at the Epic store. It's about time we get represented. Yeah. I knew one of them did, and it definitely was not the New Holland. I'm not a fan of the New Holland because it's offset. I like the Eero because you straddle the grapes. Same with the Oxbo Great Harvester, you straddle the grapes. I used the Eero on Hofbergman a while back. I don't know about you, but I don't really like the sheep having tails. Hopefully the sheep are redesigned without tails. Almonds are a nut, but also they appear to be harvested in a very similar way to grapes and olives. So maybe almonds would be a crop. We'd easily continue the grape and olive mechanic of placing them down. Because we learned Oxbo has an almond harvester. I think it's pretty much the same as their grape harvester, it just shakes the trees. During the map presentation, the lead designer talked an awful lot about, maybe a little bit too much, about the number of fences that were going to be available. And it also sounded like they were going to continue the trend that we had with Zielonka in actually having usable buildings that we could place. That pretty much everything that we could place had doors you could open and you could go into and basically use. Which would be great because we definitely provided feedback when FS22 came out, and all of those buildings on Elm Creek were basically useless. And when we couldn't do a darn thing with any of these things, other than put them down and look at them, right? But then when the premium expansion came out, all of these buildings are usable. We can open the doors, we can go in them, we can do things with them. And of course, we had our base game fences. And then we got a huge assortment of fences and gates with Zielonka. It sounds like we're going to get another large collection of fences and gates with FS25. Yeah, Eero was a standalone DLC. $1.99, I believe it was. I think they threw it in to the Year 1 Season Pass, possibly to squelch some complaints. Even though the complaints I don't feel had any merit. When a company provides you a chart, the chart says the season pass will consist of 3 packs and an expansion, and then each pack is subsequently announced. You know what you're getting. You're getting 3 packs and an expansion. At no point in time did they ever say everything we release in 2022. It said Year 1 Pass will include 3 packs and an expansion. And then the Eero comes out after all 3 packs have been already announced and the expansion. You're done. They've satisfied their commitment to you. They've delivered everything they said was going to be in the pack. But there was a lot of people disgruntled that the pack did not include this $1.99 harvester. So they basically threw it in. So if you get the premium expansion, which includes the game, Year 1 Season Pass, and Year 2 Season Pass, you get that piece of machinery as well. If you have the Year 1 Season Pass, you got the machinery. Otherwise, it's $1.99. It's only buy it if you feel that you are a completist and you have to have it. Right? It's one single piece of machinery. It's literally this. Now, I really like it. I think this is a great harvester. It has a glass bottom, so you can see, right? You can see through it. So you can see down there, you can see the crop going in there. It's center line, so it's easy to drive right down the middle of the row. It's got lots of really cool, neat little animations. It's a fairly small harvester. Can hold either 2,200 or 3,000 liters of product. Compared to the New Holland, which is 3,100, or the Oxbo, which is 3,100. It's definitely smaller. Might be a little bit more nimble. It's not necessarily cheaper. So cranberries would be interesting, and even if it's not in the base game, it wouldn't be too hard, I don't think, for you to implement it. I don't know how cranberries are grown. I know that they're flooded for harvest, or flooding the fields makes it easier to harvest. So you kind of already have the mechanic, or maybe the mechanic is basically the reverse of rice, where you flood the field and then grow the rice and then dry the field out to harvest. Maybe you have the field dry but flooded for harvest. Are you, what platform are you on, Weapon? Well, David, I mean, there's always a replay. But most of what we've been talking about today is the Giants videos that they dropped. If you didn't hear, if you didn't know, Giants released the FARMER-KLEIN video presentations about 12 hours ago. So it would have been evening for you. So what platform did you get, do you have your season pass through? Like Steam, Giants eShop. Oh, okay, well that's probably it. All right, we're done. We got one layer of organic on everything that needs it. Obviously, we put chemical fertilizer down here. We got organic there, here, and here. That'll at least get us going. So yeah, I mean, unless you love grape, unless you're actively into grapes, or you're somebody that just wants to have the complete set, it is what it is. It's one piece of machinery. It's grapes. So few people do grapes that I know of. I did them. I experienced it. I moved on. They're really costly. They're not very well economically balanced. They cost a lot to place. The harvester costs a lot to harvest. The yield isn't the most high. And unless you really run the grapes through a cereal factory, meaning you take grapes and make raisins and then make cereal, it's hard to get your investment back. Oh, and good luck on the job. Good to hear that. Hope you enjoy it. So much is money is definitely a thing, right? Without money, well, you can't do anything. But money's not everything. Money's a lot of things, but it's not everything. And hope you enjoy it. I hope it's not a burden and gotta go to work today. I tell folks at work, if you can't have fun at work, then why be here? If you've already got to be here 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then at least you can have a little bit of fun. So I was talking with one of my employees today. He grew up in Pittsburgh, and then his family moved to South Dakota. I was like, wow, that's quite a change. Like, you know, East Coast city, and then South Dakota, nothing. And you know, this is quite a long time ago. Him nor I are spring chickens, so this wasn't South Dakota in 2010 or 2000s or 1990s. It was probably South Dakota in the 1980s. So I can imagine South Dakota 1980s was really, really sparse. Dozer, I don't know. I mean, I think technically it would the base game would maintain its rating. But I don't know if they'd really do that. Just from a standpoint of availability of that DLC to everybody, right? Well, there's always Farmers Only. Although FarmersOnly.club is definitely worth checking out if you're into multiplayer. It's not a dating site. It is maybe a questionably named site, given the dating site Farmers Only, but at any rate, it's a really interesting multiplayer site for people who are looking to do a farm sim multiplayer. Where you basically sign up and you come on as a farm hand and you work other people's farms and you earn money, and basically you just jump on their farm, their server. They lay out things that they want you to do, and then as you earn money, as you earn, I guess, reputation with the community, you can then go and buy your own farm on one of the servers. And what's interesting about this community is they have a way to transport your money from one server to the next. They have a way of transporting your machinery from one server to the next. And it's something that I always wanted to profile and do, but I never got around to it. I think maps just kind of took off faster than I was ready for them to take off on. And at this point, there's not really a lot of opportunity, but it's a really interesting concept. The last time I understood about it, it was free to play, free to join, donations gladly accepted type of a situation. Oh my gosh. FarmersOnly.club. It's something worth want to check out if you're into multiplayer. Break. We're not ATS today. Juki, we're not in ATS. This is a Fent pack from FarmCon if you hadn't seen it before. released last weekend. David, that comes from experience. Oh. Now that I was literally looking at chat when that happened. So this is the FarmCon Fent Pack. It includes the 380 GTA Turbo, the frontless tractor. The engine is right here and underneath you. Right? You can get in different tire configurations. Okay, and then we have the Xylon. That's what we're using. Another frontless, noseless tractor. And then they have the front loader attachment for each that attaches to the front. Or you can get a tank that attaches to the front, and then you can attach this boom to the back. And now we've got a little self-contained sprayer setup. These are legit tractors. They were on display at FarmCon. I like to use them. I like to use one like this on Hofbergman. It's fun. Yeah, I'm using it for fertilizer. I mean, I don't know if it has spot spraying on it or not. I didn't really try it with herbicide. Nice size cab, nice size buddy seat. Yeah, it'd be nice if they included this in 25 as base game stuff. So, tomorrow we're going to be over on our secondary channel, FK's Funhouse, doing our Friday night Wreckfest. If you have Wreckfest and you want to participate, we have plenty of room on the server. All you got to do is be a member of the Discord, Explanation Discord. It's free. You'll say to yourself, why was I never here to begin with? It's the second best place to be. Something else to keep an eye on is Farmer Andy's website, lsfarmingmods.com, because, well, Bergman is getting an update soon. Very soon. The summer update. I'm going to keep an eye on that website for sure for when 1.5 drops. And when it does, well, I will tell you that we will be leaving Deutschland for another German farm. I've read some of the changelog. It looks really interesting. I said at the start of the stream, I'll say it again. Farmer Andy has implemented food trucks, food carts into the game. It sounds like we will have the ability to own a chicken skewer cart, and we will take our 4 meat chickens that we grow and defeather at the chicken area and sell them as skewers in a skewer cart. We take it to town and we park it in designated parking spots in order to sell our skewers. It sounds really fun and exciting and something to try and do. You know, just like going out and fishing on the boat on the lake in Bergman and then bringing it back and smoking some fish. So I caught wind of it earlier this week. It looks like maybe the week before FarmCon it went into beta testing. So hopefully maybe this weekend, maybe sometime next week, we'll see that drop. I'll keep an eye out for it, and I'll post in the community tab when it does indeed drop. With that said, folks, if you haven't seen any of the 2 videos I dropped yesterday related to the 2 maps that came out yesterday, go check those out if you're on console. You also got a Alaskan map that was previously released on PC only, that also then released for console yesterday. So 3 maps in total came out yesterday. Keep safe, keep cool, and most importantly, be sure to like and subscribe. Share that information with other folks. We're going to be putting out plenty of FS25 news as it comes out over the next several months. And until next time, happy farming.